Hey, Boy Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report. Celtics winners 125-112 over the Mavericks tonight. Apologize for the remote edition of our stand-up here, our report. Some technical difficulties at the Garden here, but we're going to talk about Jayson Tatum. Another incredible performance from him, entering a game where he was questionable after turning his ankle in Chicago, though Jaylen Brown said there was no doubt that Tatum was going to show up and play this game. Tatum went through shoot around, got a bunch of floaters up, moved around a little gingerly, but nothing out of the ordinary or too different from what we usually see from him mornings before games. He comes out with a statement performance against Luka Doncic, 37 points, 15 free throw attempts, 13 rebounds, of course, as well as the 5 assists, many more hockey assists or plays where he's initiating the offense and setting the table for the different passes that would get downhill to Jaylen Brown, who had a great performance in this one as well, along with an overall solid defense performance, even though they slipped in the second half, let the Mavericks get to within 9. And in the closing minutes of that fourth quarter is Luka Doncic, who had 42 points himself, rallied, hit Wood a bunch of times in the post, Christian Wood, and put some pressure on the Celtics. Tatum got downhill on the roll, found Horford for a 3. That was a massive play, and then blocked Luka, emphatic block in the post, lets out a massive yell toward the sideline, sort of in Luka's direction as well. I was interested in what happened there. Here's what he had to say about that moment.
Then will you take us through the block on Luka, and what did you say to him afterwards?
We joked about it. I told him I had to block it because, I didn't want him to dunk on me. And he looked at me, he was like, "You thought I was going to dunk it?" I was like, "You never know." I was like, you tall enough where, you can play above the rim a little bit. But, obviously, one of the best players in the league and special talent and somebody I respect. So, just like competing against guys like that.
So Tatum, of course, neck and neck with Doncic, Giannis, Jokic, others, and now can check another one of those fellow contenders off the list of rivals in this MVP race, a stacked one early on this season that he's defeated head-to-head. Throw Ja Morant in there. A number of players so far this season he's gotten the best of, though not Donovan Mitchell, if the Cavaliers can get back to that top spot. But it's going to be a heated race. Tatum, you see in this game, he's got the defense to back up and assert and solidify his case. Doncic struggled defensively throughout this one. Celtics were able to exploit the Mavericks on that end pretty easily. And then you see Tatum with the 2 blocks, the steals, the big-time forced turnovers, even one where he switched on the Doncic, one of the opening possessions of the game and forced to travel. I think that's what puts him above some of these other contenders out there. It's incredible what he's able to do on that end of the floor. Now, Doncic, don't understate him. Mavs go behind by 27 in the first half, and he's the center of their universe. Everything passing-wise has to go through him. Creation off the dribble. He's doing it in isolation, in the mid-range, hitting difficult leaners. The Celtics did a good job game planning for him, though, luring him into those switches on the Horford or White, and certainly Hauser had a rough day trying to deal with him into those second units. Floater after floater after leaner flew up over Hauser and in. And he finishes a ridiculous 17 for 28, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. There's not many guys that can do this, but they turned him over just enough. They made it difficult enough and pretty much handled everybody else. So the Mavs did shoot 50% outside of Doncic in this game. You want to see the Celtics be able to lock up defensively better than they have lately, and I wrote about that for CLNS Media this morning. But overall, a brilliant effort from 2 Celtics in Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown combining for 68 points. Doing that once again this season. They've done it a handful of times now. Overpowered one great performance from Luka. Marcus Smart talked to me after in the locker room, said, it's like a Western. We got 2 gunslingers instead of 1 over there on the Dallas side. And that's been the story of Dallas's season without Jalen Brunson. Jason Kidd talked about him a little bit before the game and just how great he was and how many things he did for them. And now he's playing and thriving in New York. Dallas has not seen a second option step up for Doncic, even with a string of some decent plays from Dinwiddie throughout this one. Story of the game, though, one MVP rising above another, and Jayson Tatum continues this spectacular start to the season. Some good commentary from him after the game as well about playing with Brown, the patience that they were able to show in terms of developing not only their relationship on the floor, but this entire offensive system that's built on a bunch of reads, off-ball cutting, movement, and they're all doing this without plays. Tatum talked after the game about, like, this is not practice, this is not prepared. So much of this is them freelancing and finding the movements and knowing where each other want to be off the ball. In fact, Tatum had a cut off of Smart that Smart just knew. Yeah, it's what Tatum was going to be there for, and he found him, and that ended up being one of many key plays in this game, as well as a run-stopping dish to Tatum for mid-range pull-up and a tough fade away from Tatum with about 8 minutes to go in that fourth quarter. Can't say enough about his start to the season. He's the MVP in the NBA right now, right up there with Steph Curry, probably 1-2. And he'll get a chance to go up against another top offense in the NBA when the Celtics take on the Kings on Friday. We're brought to you by Athletic Greens here. You know, Athletic Greens, 5 free travel packs to their powder with vitamins, minerals, adaptogens, probiotics, all whole food sourced. Gives you a little bit of everything you need for your health. Getting your diet right after Thanksgiving or even before right now, it can give you that little energetic boost to get through this holiday season, some early sunsets, make you just feel a little bit better about your health, especially the fact that you're going to be getting all these things in one location rather than a million different ones. That's the key to Athletic Greens. That's the reason why they have such great reviews. Go check those out, as well as the offer and all the great gear that comes with Athletic Greens when you go to athleticgreens.com/garden. And Com app gets you 40% off a premium subscription when you show the Garden Report some love. Com.com/garden. That's sleep sounds, meditation, yoga, and more. You're going to need it as you get through Thanksgiving here and into the shopping season as well, which begins on Friday. And we'll be back on Friday here on Celtics All Access, CLNS Media, and check out our next segment on Celtics All Access. We'll talk a little Jaylen Brown, some comments he had after tonight's win, 125-112 over the Mavericks.